The United Nations Human Rights Council allows participation by countries that are flagrant human rights abusers themselves. Libya, Algeria, Syria, Sudan, Zimbabwe, Vietnam, Cuba, China, all in no position to judge the human rights performance of other nations, then use their membership to prevent scrutiny of their own records. The Human Rights Council is an oxymoron. It's doing the opposite of what its guiding philosophy and core principles is intended to do. If the UN can't interfere in the affairs of a country to stem the tide of genocide without the permission of the offending country, it's worthless as a peacekeeping force. China underwrites the genocide in Darfur. China obstructs the Human Rights Council from ordering Sudan to accept an effective peacekeeping force. Why? Oil. Oil is the root problem. China imports 80% of Sudan's oil. China's oil appetite is the reason for their ugly partnership with Sudan. If you run an African country and you've misspent your country's wealth, you got a friend in China. Waged war against an ethnic minority? You got a friend in China. Tired of those pesky good governance requirements attached to foreign aid by most Western governments? No worries. Beijing's ready to write big checks with no embarrassing questions asked. It's good for governments, not so nice for their misgoverned people. China's lending banks don't adhere to the international guidelines known as the Equator Principles. The Equator Principles monitor and manage the social and environmental impact of major outside investments. If China doesn't agree to start abiding by the international guidelines known as the Equator Principles, boycott the Beijing Olympics. If China wanted to end the genocide in Darfur, can do it like that. China's communist government has no compassion, has no humanity. They treat their own people like shit, so they don't care about black African people being butchered. If China doesn't get Sudan's President al-Bashir to let the 20,000 UN peacekeepers into Darfur this year, not next year sometime maybe, if not this year, boycott the Beijing Olympics. The UN's Human Rights Council doesn't deserve a dime from America's taxpayers. Every American, call your senators every day. Demand that your tax dollars don't pay for the Human Rights Council's budget. Call your congressmen and congresswomen every single day. Tell them American taxpayers shouldn't pay the $400 million it's going to cost for American taxpayers to renovate the United Nations building. Britain can't maintain 7,000 troops in Iraq and another 7,000 troops in Afghanistan. 14,000 troops for a country of 60 million people with the fifth largest economy in the world. Britain's armed forces have shrunk from about 300,000 in 1990 to less than 200,000 today, leaving it number 28 in the world behind Eritrea and Burma. Unless NATO members are willing to increase their spending, the international community is going to continue complaining about American unilateralism. America acts alone, not out of choice, but out of necessity. America wants a coalition of the willing, but no one else is stepping up. Britain, France, Italy, Germany, Japan, India haven't helped Darfur's people at all. And Russia never helps. And China obstructs the United Nations from taking action in Darfur.